Hi everyone, so I thought I'd do a quick vlog because I am sat in a hotel in Winchester in England. It's really lovely here in Winchester, although I haven't really got the chance to properly go out and check it out. I'm actually here because I was invited to speak at the British the British Neuro-Oncology Society annual meeting or conference, where at Winchester University they were doing different lectures on brain tumour research, and they'd had different people in talking about the clinical care of those with brain tumours, what they can do about it, some science-based stuff that I don't understand. But I was asked to come and speak about my experience of dealing with doctors who don't deliver news in a good way. So those of you that followed this channel for a while will have seen, and I'll link it up somewhere, the video I did about being told that my husband was going to die in a hospital corridor, which quite clearly is not acceptable. But that video went quite far, and the national press picked it up here in the UK. So there was a big story about it in the Daily Mail and the Daily Mirror and the Sun and all the newspapers out here. And because of that, I was invited to come and speak about my experience. I was asked by Paul Grundy, who organised the event, if I'd like to get in front of those consultants and doctors and actually speak to them on a human level and offer my advice for them. So that's what I did today. So I went along, and the speech consisted of me sharing my own experience of what it's like to, why I'm there talking about it, what I'd experienced, the good and the bad, and then some tangible advice for doctors and consultants, because what I didn't want was to go in all guns blazing and go, this is what was bad, and then not really give any advice on how I could change that. And as those of you who follow me on here, I do have an experience in terms of body language and presenting yourself. As an actor, as a coach, a lot of the stuff that I do revolves around the aesthetics, body language, how we talk, eye contact, how our minds work, why we do the things we do, why we respond to people in certain ways. So although my experience is it's personal too, I can also offer it from a more professional point of view in stuff that I already talk about. So it was nice to be able to do both and hopefully to leave them with something. And I listened to a few of the lectures before and after me as well, which were really engaging, and they were all about giving patients choices and how we, patients, their families, and educating them, arming them with enough education that they can make informed choices about their care and, whether they want certain treatments. And it was just a very interesting conversation, debate about it, and people were able to ask questions as well, which they did with me. I just offered comment actually on what I thought about certain things. But it was a really interesting day, and it was nice for me to be able to really genuinely go, look, you're amazing, but equally there is still work to be done for some of you, because the harsh reality is some of you aren't doing it good enough, and that's not acceptable. And in the same way, I wouldn't accept bad service anywhere. I wouldn't expect bad customer service. I wouldn't expect the woman who serves the coffee to be miserable when she serves the coffee. I used to serve coffee. I was a waitress. I had rubbish days. Still served the coffee nicely, because it ain't their problem. And it's the same with doctors and nurses. You've all got stuff going on in your real life. You're busy. You got a hard job to do. I couldn't do it. You are heroes. Truly, I mean that. Equally, don't bring it to me. What I need from you as a family member of somebody who's very ill is calm and reassurance. And hopefully, I think it landed, because it was very quiet in the room and lots of people came in to watch it, and they offered their thoughts on it afterwards, and lots of people came up to me. And apparently there were some tears, which you don't really want to make people cry, but I think it's important that some of them did. That probably means it's landing, doesn't it? So I got to speak to some really interesting people today, and it's been a really good day of being able to speak to those from the Brain Tumour Charity, who I am a high profile supporter of, And there was the brain research charity there. Lots of people who I got to speak to, and all with really good ideas about how we best, how do we get better at that? How do the doctors and nurses get better at that? And how, what is it that they can do? And actually, I spoke to a doctor who was about to graduate, so was about to become a doctor, done all that really hard schooling. She was at Cambridge, and she asked if I would potentially go to Cambridge and speak as well at Cambridge University and talk to the doctors before they even get out there. And I think really for me, that's where it's at, isn't it? Get them before they get out there, and they, you know, then maybe pick up bad habits from doctors who aren't doing it well enough. It was also interesting because I didn't name the people that were bad in my instance, obviously. But it was interesting that 4 separate people came up to me and named them for me. So that says a lot, doesn't it, really? Because let's be honest, whatever field people are in, when they do it badly, when they're not very nice to be around, people know. Because most people are all right, aren't they, really? And they're doing a good job. So the bad ones stand out. So it was interesting, actually quite relieving that other people had experienced and knew who I was talking about. So I didn't have to name those people, but I did grass them up to people who are influential. Gotta do that, ain't you? Gotta do it. But I've had a nice day, and I've been well looked after. And as I say, this wasn't a work thing. This was something I feel passionate about. This wasn't something I was paid to come and do. This was just something that's really important because I know how rubbish it felt, and I'm strong as a damn ox, and a lot of people aren't like me, and I got to fight for those people, and that's what I feel I was able to do today, which is nice. And yeah, I'm now exhausted and have a headache coming on, which is not ideal, but I've been in the sun all day chatting, not drinking enough water, so I'll see how that works out for me, but not amazing. Anyway, thank you for those of you who messaged me before me doing this talk and shared your experiences, and those of you who will undoubtedly comment underneath this video and tell me your experience of doctors not being good. Let's remember that some of them are amazing though, many of them, and share your good experiences as well as your bad, because I did that today. Dr. Spooner, who we dealt with at the QE hospital, Birmingham QE, was incredible, and so were his team. And so there are many, many good doctors out there, so please don't just tell me your bad stuff. Let's congratulate the good ones as well, so that the bad ones can think, oh man, it's better to be good, look how much praise they're getting and stuff like that. They probably won't, but I've talked too much today, haven't I? Can you tell? I think I need to go and get a glass of water and eat some biscuits, and that is what I'm going to do. Peace.